Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Handle with Care podcast. My name is Sterling Atkins Dutro,
And I'm Kamar Davis.
and today we have joining us Jill Hayes, who is a counselor at Reservoir Gifted Academy.
And Mary Gauvin, a secretary at Reservoir Gifted Academy.
Thank you guys so very much for being here. We can just get straight into it with the questions. What motivates you to go above and beyond for students?
I think because we know we can make a difference if we connect with kids. We know that everybody has potential, so we put in a little extra time and effort to connect with them.
Do you have any strategies you use to ensure the feeling of support and understanding for your students?
I think mostly just listening and being honest with them is the best way to handle the kids. When you're honest with them, they feel like the respect that you have for them.
We accept them from where they're coming from.
What motivated you guys to want to go into schooling?
I personally started as a teacher and then had a lot of kids staying after to talk and chat and realized I was doing more of that than I was teaching, so decided to go back and get my counseling degree.
What about you?
Actually, long story, I worked at a restaurant for several years, and the principal actually, when our restaurant closed, begged me to come work over there. And then I knew two of the teachers, and my niece was going there, so it just kind of fell in place.
We got lucky with her.
Can you guys recall or provide a specific time when you provided support to a student?
One, my niece being there, so it's been super fun to be with her for the last 4 years. She's an 8th grader. I started her 5th grade year, so that's been amazing just to be with her. And then we've had a couple students that come from a rougher background, and so just being there for them and seeing them grow has been amazing, because they started off rougher, and as the year goes on, they get us and we get them now.
Yeah, they develop and grow and mature, and we get to see the efforts, or we get to see the product
Progress, yeah.
of our efforts, I guess.
I was going to say, I think that's cool to be able to, you said your niece went there, started in 5th grade the same year that you started, and then you kind of got to watch each other grow throughout those 4 years. I think that's really cool.
She begs me to go to high school with her.
What do you believe are the most important qualities for someone in your position to have when supporting students as it relates to the ACEs?
We're going to say respect and honesty and not being judgmental.
Starting fresh and then just starting over each day, no matter what went on the day before, that we just reset each day.
I think that's very important for each teacher to not hold any grudges with anybody, to just start fresh each day so that there can be a potential to gain that bond with the student. Because if you just keep the same energy toward them the whole time, you're not going to go anywhere with that.
I would say, too, don't take what they say sometimes personally, because we've had some pretty harsh things thrown our way. It's start again tomorrow, start again tomorrow.
Exactly.
So you can't take when they're in the moment and they're yelling and calling you several names. You can't take everything they say so personally.
Exactly, because
Yes.
you don't really know what emotions they have built up and what they say they maybe don't mean. So I wouldn't want to take that personally.
You don't want to hang on to that.
Stay open-minded. Be mindful of what they might be going through.
Right.
Right.
That's hard for people to do.
When somebody says something like that to you, is there anything specifically you guys say to yourselves?
I don't ever compare one child to the other because I know they all come with different experiences. I think don't put them all in a box. We don't expect them all to behave the same or be the same kid or respond the same. So we kind of give them a little bit of freedom to be who they are.
I actually really like that answer.
What advice would you give to other staff members who want to better their understanding on how to support their students?
I would say self-reflection. Know yourself, know your biases, know your prejudices, and examine yourself before you go in and face a lot of kids.
So we kind of went over how you guys are the support staff for other students, but do you guys have support?
Our school is very tight-knit. We don't have tons of extra people. So, our principal, we have parent advocate, our nurse, counselor, me, we're all super close, and we just rely on each other. If someone's busy, the next person steps in. If someone's having a bad day, the other person picks them up. We
Yeah,
go
well-
get coffee for each other a lot.
Yeah, we're fortunate we have a good team, so we kind of work together really well. That makes a big difference, too.
What about when you guys were younger? Who was your support as a kid?
I would say a principal for me thought I had more potential than what I was living up to and had that hard talk. And I was like, yeah, maybe I can be something.
My sister was 5 years older than me. We weren't super close when I was younger, but then we got super close as I got older. but also one of my third grade teachers. Like, she always had my back no matter what.
I think it's people that see the potential in you and believe in you, and then you just know that naturally. You know what I mean? You get it when you know that person really, really gets you and cares about you. Makes a big difference.
I think that's important to always have at least one person you know that's going to be in you.
Right.
I always saw like teachers as like second parents for me, because teachers always have a big impact on our lives as students.
Sometimes more than they think.
Yes, like all of my teachers have. So I'm very thankful. I feel like everyone should be thankful for their teachers, for their school staff, because they do a lot, more than you know.
I agree.
So
I think we share one teacher, rely on for support
Yes.
when we need it, that we know is pushing us and wants us to succeed.
yes.
And sometimes it's not what you want to hear.
Yeah. Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. 100%. 'cause-
I think those are the teachers that we
Yeah.
care about the most, that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're going to push you, be real about it. Because, I mean, it's real life at the end of the day.
Right. It's hard to hear things, and sometimes it's hard for us as adults to say things, but we know it's for them to be a better person and be successful and productive is you got to do it for that, for their success, you know.
Exactly. And even if they don't recognize it in the moment, they will later on, for sure.
How do you guys avoid like burnout, like from your like long days of being in school and everything like that?
Do you want the real answer? Or do you
We'll take the real answer. Yes.
We go out a lot after work, not every night. Friday nights are kind of our time just to defrag and talk about school and how we can be better and how we can take care of ourselves a little more. And I hibernate. She doesn't. She coaches a lot, but I have to have a lot of downtime.
But like once a month, like we'll do a whole staff, like all of us will get together.
that's nice.
I mean, we've done different activities. We did cookie decorating. We try to
like-
get together once a
We'd like
month.
to do axe throwing.
Yes.
Is what
Oh,
we're,
that
That's
sounds
up in the
fun.
books for the next one.
Yeah.
that's what we're asking for.
Anything you guys have to add or anything?
Thanks for having
our
us.
principal for nominating us, and I do think the training for support staff would be a great idea for our district. Those frontline people, I think that have a lot of access to kids too, really need that as much as we do.
Thank you guys for coming on and being our very first podcast
Yes,
guest.
thank
It was
you.
amazing.
Thank
I had
you.
amazing-
Thank you for listening to the Handle with Kate podcast. We hope this episode gave you a better understanding on what students and staff may be going through and ways to support them. Remember, you never know what the person next to you is going through. If this episode resonates with you and you need resources but aren't sure where to find them, they are located at the same page of the podcast.